Hello Pokemon Masters, Toby here, and while playing Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, I was going through chatting to absolutely every single NPC, and it makes sense to me why they chose the Sinnoh region for the location of Legends Arceus, or rather they've chosen the Hisui region, which is just Sinnoh in the before times. Probably 100 or so years ago, which given that Professor Rowan has been studying Pokemon for 60 long years, Commander Komodo is only going to be like Professor Rowan's dad or granddad or great-granddad at most. Anyway, that's besides the point. There is so much information given by NPCs about the Sinnoh region and how it used to look back in the old days or in ancient times, because between the Hisui region and the Sinnoh region, a lot has changed and a lot of people seem to know a lot about the history. That's a lot of lots. Before I jump into this though, if you would like to discover the Hisui region by playing a copy of Legends Arceus, guess what? You can win one. All you gotta do is leave a comment on this video. You'll be in with a chance of winning. It's a worldwide giveaway, whether you live in Sinnoh or Hisui. Actually, no, it's not a through time giveaway, just around the world. So if you've gone back to the past, you can't win a copy then. Anyway, don't forget to put the like button up for trade on the GTS and don't ask for anything special. Maybe like a level 1 Bidoof. Yeah, that sounds good. Just something to make the like button feel special. And I'm gonna get in with it with a couple of references and just things that NPCs have said to tell us about the history of the Sinnoh region. So I'm going to start off at the beginning. Obviously, as I was playing through Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, I was looking for absolutely any reference, anything interesting that an NPC would say, and it didn't take long. As soon as I got to Jubilife City, which naturally was going to be a big location for this, given that Jubilife Village, the main hub, the main base, the main community of people that appear in Legends Arceus, I was expecting to find an NPC who would say something either new or something was originally said in Diamond and Pearl about the location. And sure enough, as soon as I got into Jubilife City, someone had something interesting to say. They said that the people of Orberg City helped build Jubilife City by bringing over materials from the mine. Now that's really interesting because when we look to the map of the Hisui region, we can't really see an Orberg City. There is an area called the Obsidian Fieldlands, which is nearby, that could well be Orberg in the ancient past. By the way, I'm saying ancient past because that's the vocabulary I've become really accustomed to for Legends Arceus. When I say ancient, we are really only talking about 100 or so years ago, but it does make me question a couple things. For example, is some variation of Orberg City or Orberg Village exist in the world of Legends Arceus? Or perhaps what they mean by Jubilife City was built up as a result of people bringing in materials from Orberg City is that originally Jubilife was just Jubilife Village, and then after Orberg City came into being, they were able to help transform Jubilife Village into the full metropolis that it is today. Or thirdly, something that actually makes sense to me looking at the Hisui region map is that Jubilife Village moved. That the area that we know today as Jubilife City is actually what will become Canalive City, and that Jubilife City is actually kind of more next to it because the positioning on the map doesn't make sense. Otherwise, where would Canalive be? I'm wondering if Jubilife Village becomes Canalive City and that the Jubilife Village people move and create a city with the help of materials from the mine of Orberg, and they create Jubilife City next to it. But that is just a theory. There are like 3 different ways that you can interpret what that NPC said. Contradictory to that, number 2, and next up on this list, we actually know that Canalive City back in the old days used to be a port town, which it still is, so I don't know why the NPC, like what was different? It used to be a town where sailors would come with boats and bring cargo, and now it's a place where people bring cargo in boats. So not really a reference here. I don't get it. But when we look to the map of old Hisui, we do see that the Jubilife Village is right on the water's edge, and we can even see people in boats moving to and from this area. This map is less of a geographical map and maybe more like an artistic representation, so take that with a pinch of salt. Pinch of sea salt. Number 3, Jubilife City isn't the only city that's built up over time. NPCs in Eterna City, which, by the way, when we first saw the original trailer for Legends Arceus, I was convinced that this area was going to become Eterna City because Eterna, eternal, it's a city that's been around for a really long time. But according to the NPCs, it used to look very, very different. There are at least 2 people in the town that reference the fact that this city looked totally different in the past, and that this great statue of Dialga/Palkia that exists in the center area, that used to be a hub of festivals and joy. And it is interesting to note actually that all of the houses that are around that Dialga/Palkia statue, they look more like traditional houses like the ones in Celestic Towns than the big metropolis-like buildings that are down to the south of the area, which is clearly far more developed. So maybe we will see some version of Eterna City in Legends Arceus, but it'll be be a much smaller kind of space. Interesting, by the way, that statue, I do wonder, I saw something on Twitter, I can't remember who posted it, but they suggested that that statue of Dialga/Palkia may have been moved from Spear Pillar. There's that little square with the triangle on it. Maybe that's where the statue was before. And actually, ruins like the Spear Pillar and like the Sinnoh ruins that we see in Brilliant Diamond Shining, no, the other remakes, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, the special Arceus event, ruins like that appear all over the world of Legends Arceus, so I'm fully expecting to see more of that stuff and getting to know better like what happened to all these old ruins and old statues. Anyway, next up, just south of Eternicity, there is Falroma Town, and Falroma Town did not used to be a nice area. It was a barren wasteland. And when we look to the map of Hisui, and I'm just guessing here based on what I'm seeing, it looks like it was like an icy tundra until the Pokemon Shaman came along and blessed the area with flowers because someone mentioned what they were grateful for. And it's interesting to note that we've just had Shaman confirmed as a mythical Pokemon that's going to be available in Legends Arceus. So maybe it's you, the player character that brings Falroma Town and the Falroma Garden into existence. That would be something, I don't know. But one of the areas that I definitely don't think the player will be responsible for is Veilstone City, which, according to one of the NPCs, didn't used to exist there until a meteorite fell down, and then people started building the city around it. Now, the meteorite they're talking about is probably the shards of the meteorite where you can transform your Deoxys, but Deoxys doesn't appear in Diamond Pearl, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, so it's possible that the meteorite was carrying something else entirely. Possibly, this is the very meteorite that the Jirachi gift that you get from Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl for having saved data of Sword and Shield on your game. Maybe this is Jirachi's comet that has shattered into a few different pieces, and it just so happens that Deoxys can interact with it and change it, because we know that Deoxys's comet is more like that triangle shape. Ooh, then maybe that's the triangle shape on Spear Pillar, but that's a theory for another time, and I don't even know how I'd connect those. But it would make sense that if it was Jirachi's meteorite or comet that crash landed here, that they would discover this Pokemon that could grant wishes, that yeah, they would build a community around that in Pokemon, and then Veilstone has appeared. And since then, Jirachi has ended up in the hands of this old man who, of course, appears in Falroma Town. Alright, next up, number 6, as you're passing through Solaceon Town, one of the ranchers mentions that this area used to be filled with Pokemon ranches, and that is a very interesting thing because we see Pokemon ranches in Legends Arceus. It's how you store your Pokemon. Rather than having a box, you've got this whole area where your Pokemon can roam freely. That tells me that Solaceon Town probably developed around the time of Legends Arceus, back when ranches were much, much more common. And in fact, of course, also in Solaceon Town, we have the Solaceon Ruins, which are ruins that are, have the Unknown in, and the Unknown are directly tied to Arceus through that Sinnoh Ruins event. So I have no doubt that Solaceon Town will play a big, big role and will exist in the time of Legends Arceus, even if it's known by another name. Number 7, there are ancient ruins in Amity Square. You know, the fun little square where you run around with cute Pokemon outside of Hearthome City. And Hearthome in itself is interesting because it's always been known as like a hub for people to come to, according to NPCs. But there are ancient ruins out there. We don't see ruins like this anywhere else in Sinnoh or anywhere else in any Pokemon region. So I wonder what these ruins are for. Do they exist in the time of Legends Arceus? Just fascinating. Are these ruins the reason that people were drawn to Hearthome City? You can see why, you can absolutely see why they picked the Sinnoh region to do this Legends Arceus project, because there is so much there referencing an old Sinnoh that it almost feels like it's written itself a little bit. Right, I'm almost definitely miscounting these, but I think if you add them all up, I'm now probably on number 9. Let's go with that. We're going to make this a nice round 10. This is cool. In the Canalave Library in Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, there is the new myth all about what appears to be Manaphy, the Sea's legend, and it references a place called the East Sea Hollow, or the Sea Hollow, which we know is in the East Sea, according to the myth. When we look to the map of the Hisui region in the east, we see this very peculiar crescent moon shape. I have no doubt that this is the East Sea Hollow, and that there is going to be a location called East Sea Hollow that appears in the games. Though right now that's all I have for that location, and that was kind of an additional one because I realized I was already on like 8 different things. This is number 9, and now finally we have number 10, the Sinnoh region in general. What are you talking about? According to so many NPCs in Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, the Sinnoh region was created by Arceus. And you can infer that to mean that Arceus created what we know as the Hisui region in Legends Arceus, but I don't think that that's necessarily what it means. We do know that Arceus has godly power. In the Sinnoh Ruin events from Heart Gold Soul Silver, we see it like warp time and space to create a Dialga, Giratina, or Palkia egg. I don't know why I did them in that order, that was weird. Dialga, Palkia, or Giratina egg. But I wonder if by create the Sinnoh region, all of the NPC references when taken together, what they're actually talking about is that Arceus changed what is the Hisui region into the Sinnoh region. The Pokemon Arceus, along with the player character from Legends Arceus, created Sinnoh, a world that is different to Hisui by merit of the fact that in the Hisui region, people and Pokemon live separate lives, but here in the world of Sinnoh, people and Pokemon live together lives. And so with that, we have at least 10 different things that while playing Legends Arceus, I'm going to be on the lookout for now. I'm going to be looking for these ancient ruins that maybe become Amity Square. I'm going to be looking for areas that better describe what Jubilife City is. Maybe it's that. Or maybe we'll discover that the Hisui region, while it's the past of a Sinnoh region, it's not the Sinnoh that we see in Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Brilliant Diamond, or Shining Pearl. And so it doesn't really connect in that way, but I kind of hope it does, because I love expanding the Pokemon world and the Pokemon lore. Let me know what you think in the comments, and of course, if you want to explore the Hisui region yourself, I'm giving away 3 copies of Legends Arceus. It's a worldwide giveaway. All you gotta do, leave a comment. And don't forget to put the like button up on the GTS and only ask for a level 1 Bidoof. You don't need anything more for it than that. Thank you all for watching, and of course, so hi Pokemon Masters.
This is Ash Ketchum. You just watched a video by Birdkeeper Toby. That makes you a Pokemon Master!
Wow, a huge thank you to those of you who are supporting this channel, especially those of you on Patreon, and the big patrons of this month, JD Gartledge, PokeBliss, Michael Hornschuch, and Jedruben. Thank you.